the term black man because politically it's the most offensive word to white people out there. You want to get something started, you can go out there and say, well, I'm a new African, it's cool. But you go out there and say they did it to black people. You got everybody's attention. Everybody's attention. White people start making excuses in their head, trying to create a situation to show that you are lying because you said black man. And I will keep that in my arsenal of tools. When it's necessary, I'll use it. But I do consider myself a new African because we are new people in this here land. We are mixed people. We are biracial. They bastardized us. They did everything to us. We're Africans. We're just not the Africans that left the continent. And by the way, Africa is not a place. It is a continent. And now there's 54 political nations in Africa. So when we start talking about it, understand that we have different groups that that believe that we done got more hung up on our diet than we are in defense. You know, every time in Cobra has a meeting, you know, we got to listen to the dietitians. That's okay. But I want to know where the warriors are at. You know, I used to be a vegetarian when I first started being a trainer in this movement. I was pretty laid back. A lot of stuff happened. I wasn't scared. I was just laid back. I didn't eat no meat. I didn't eat nothing that, you know. For years that went on. So one day I got put in charge of the training on the national level. And the man told me that you got to get mean. I didn't really know what he was talking about. You know. I mean, you know, I'm laid back, right? He said, you got to get mean. He said, you need a little piece of meat to get mean. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I know that different diets in Africa, in different places, some areas where they had a lot of fish, some areas where they didn't have many animals, they ate a lot of fruit. But that's not an entire country, you know, or a region. So I differ with people that say that we wasn't supposed to, you know, eat meat. We got K9s, you know, we were born with them, so I don't know why we got them. Somewhere in our past we had to tear things off. Yeah. But to get back to this generation gap, I think we have an information gap. I think we've been misinformed, miseducated, and it created a division. Religion was one of the things that really helped us back in the day. If it had not been for religion, we was warriors, we probably wouldn't be here. However, in many cases today, religion has become an obstacle because regardless of how we lie about it, we still deal with values that's handed down by the same people that handed down 246 years of free slavery and 550 years of total slavery. And in that time, not did they only keep us enslaved, they had made a fool out of the Africans too. You got Africans, got Germany there, they got French there, and where did all that come from? Those are European concepts. And many of them don't even know what their original tribal name was. Many of them don't even know. So they're kind of in the same shape we are.
Free the land?
By any means.
Yes, sir. Can you give us a brief history upon the RNA and then Cobra?
The RNA was founded in 1968, Detroit, Michigan. And later on, that was a break in the RNA. It broke up in 3 different parts to some degree. There was 2 brothers that were running the RNA. One believed that we ought to go to the land, the other one believed that we ought to develop the North and create liberated zones and try to deal with it like that. But finally, Dr. Vidali, who was the writer, he finally won out in an election that they had. Over 10,000 people voted for him. We haven't had anything like that in a long time. And so the RNA in the North, it was still how it started in the South. They was trying to deal with land and that whole kind of thing. Two things, one shootout happened with the Republic of New Africa in Detroit, Michigan. The police decided that they were going to kill the Gaidi, who was the president at the time. Robert Williams was the president, but Gaidi was second vice president. Robert Williams was in China at the time. He was first in Cuba, and then him and Castro got into it about nationalism versus communism. So he left and went to China. He picked up about 7, 8 languages, different dialects of Chinese stuff. After that, we got another group called NAPO now. That was Brother Chuckway. He was the one that led the fight to the South in terms of the land. They got into it with the FBI, the police, and the National Guard. So it was one famous thing that Chuckway said when they were marching, trying to get to the land. The Klan and all of them and the police was, which were and is one and the same as far as I'm concerned. They do the same thing to black people. So Chuckway, he's a fast-skinned brother. He decided that it was him that Obadella expected to lead the charge, you know. So he got out of the vehicle and we talked to him. And he was talking about what they were going to let him do. So Chuckway says, officers, we believe in law, and we came in peace, but we came prepared. That's when the brothers start falling out. The trucks are stuck with the right kind of stuff. The FBI, don't y'all break no laws. So that was that third group, which was still with the Obadellas at that time, but some years later, I think like 83, they really got into it about philosophy. They believed that we should deal with a lot of social group things, and RNA in itself believed that we ought to go for the land and that we should start building institutions to that degree. Despite the fact that the RNA and that group under Chuckway, NAPO, New African People's Organization, that's what NAPO means. We have been real close. They've been one of the closest allies that we have in the RNA. They are RNA citizens. And down south, our house is all messed up. So they're the ones who sponsor us a place to stay. I mean, not to stay, but a place to have the meetings. Anytime we go down there and need a meeting place. So they truly have been comrades and brothers and sisters in this struggle. And Cobra was born 27 years ago. This is going 28th year. Dr. Obadella and a lot of people from the Black Lawyers Guild came together talking about civil rights and human rights and that whole kind of thing. And they gave it to Dr. Obadella to create the structure for NCOBRA. And out of that, he had to come back to the RNA because he was the president of the RNA at that time. He had to come back to us, the PCC, and get permission to deal with NCOBRA and the study bill and all that kind of stuff. So finally, that was granted, and they produced a couple of books. One was called Reparations Yes, and the other one was called Reparations Now. Those are the Bibles of NCOBRA. Probably ain't got a handful of people still got them because they're out of production now. And so that's basically what we were living on. NCOBRA now, we just had a convention here in Miami. they had a thing called a youth slam or something like that. I got some literature around here about it. With that group, we had, I don't know, we was at the Majestic Lips. I guess you guys are familiar with that group.
Yes, sir.
It was probably about 150 people if you count everybody.
Nice.
But 2/3 of them were youth, young people.
Yes, sir. Free the land?
Yes, sir.
Yes, and as far as the relativity of reparations, what can we tell our youth upon reparations?
We got to tell the youth that reparation is something to do them. It's not a welfare check. It's a payment when people capture people and hold them enslaved for so long. When they so-called freed them, that's what they did with the so-called emancipation. Then they're supposed to give them land and all that kind of stuff. So it's owed to us. Our people work free of any kind of monetary anything for 246 years. Another 100-some years of segregation, discrimination, and Jim Crow. So we didn't get paid like everybody else got paid. Most of us went to jail because there was the chain gang started, and there's a picture of this, what they call the Black Codes. That's what the first chain gang looked like back in the day. And some famous people were on the chain gang, Muddy Waters and several others that happened to. And so the youth don't have to feel like that reparations is some kind of welfare system. It is recognized and